Whee!
Hey, Ashley, what the bleep are you doing?
I saw it on Instagram.
Oh, God, not again.
Hey, Coach Ashley here and Coach Frank here at the Critical Bench Compound. And guess what? We've all seen some crazy stuff on social media, right?
There's a lot of it going around these days, for sure. You got
Dude.
the TikTok, the Instagrams. Everybody's an influencer.
You know what it is? I think it's like the shock that I would like to believe as a fitness professional, it's shock value, but we do know that we see this in big box gyms happening, and a lot of people are being influenced by these people who are just like clickbait, right?
Yeah.
They just want to get the views, and now suddenly like, listen, you guys know, I'm sure Frank is the same way, your form and your longevity of training is my number one, making sure injury prevention.
Well, it comes down to one of the three tenets, right? We have muscle, motivation, and movement.
Yes.
So making sure we have proper form, proper execution, but we actually understand what the body's movement patterns are.
Yes.
And I think what Ashley is getting to is just because somebody's got a fancy looking social media profile or they got a lot of followers, you need to check, obviously, their credentials. You need to check what they're teaching you. Just don't swipe a work off because it looked cool on somebody and implement it in the gym, because it can lead you to some injuries, to some very bad movement patterns, which will halt your progress and will put you on the sidelines for a long time. So we wanted to debunk some of those things that are out there and give you guys an example of 3 things that you're probably seeing a lot right now. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you've seen it in the gym, maybe you've been doing these things, but we want to debunk that and give you guys some real practical tips with the leg press. So what's the first one?
Before we jump into it, we want to give them something for free, right?
Again?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, what do you think? Mini bands?
Yes.
Mini bands, we're doing legs.
Yes.
Dude, I just crushed your legs with some mini bands too.
Crushed me. It absolutely crushed me. And you got a whole series?
I have a whole series.
Yeah.
So
check that out. I think it's
check it out, guys.
Up
we
in
have
here.
I crushed Coach Frank's legs with some mini bands.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you guys some free mini bands. Check out that link below. And let's go ahead and get started.
Yeah.
I think I should start with the one that most women are doing. I don't see men doing this movement, but I see a lot of women, and then we can go into the last 2 because I see more men doing those 2 than women. Well, I think both sexes probably.
I think I know which one you're talking about here though too. So,
I think you do know which one I'm talking about. All right, we've all seen it, guys. It is this lovely, let me open this up here. Let me see if I can do it without hurting myself. This lovely single leg press. One, let's talk about this, Frank.
Well, what is being sold here? Like, what is being taught that is actually working?
Glutes. People think that they're isolating the glute by pressing with one single leg on that diagonal. But yeah, do I feel to my glutes? I mean, I do. But as fitness professionals that we are, a movement, and we just discussed this, a movement that I would recommend instead of doing this would be a lateral step down.
Yes.
Right? Because you're still literally working the glutes, but you're actually in a more functional movement pattern. So what we mean by movement patterns, your hips are not meant to be shifted with a load on them. So typically this is loaded. Most people have it loaded. And now they're putting weight on the hips that are shifted already. Don't go there and tell me, no, Coach Ashley, my hips are squared. No, they're not. So when you have your hips shifted like that, on a leg press, on that single leg movement, you're really putting strain, one, on the piriformis, the SI joint. And if that piriformis tightens on that SI joint, you're gonna have a hip shift. The IT band tightens, suddenly you're getting shooting pain all the way down to the knee, sometimes to the ankle. It's incorrect.
It's happening at the spine.
It's happening at the spine because you have that pelvic tilt. That pelvic tilt, and listen, you don't want to get what I call them imbalances. You want to make sure you have good structure, right? You have good symmetry, is what I like to say. Good symmetry throughout the body. You're going to get dysymmetry by shifting those hips up and thinking you're working a muscle while you're activating poor muscles at that point too. You don't want to train muscles in a certain way that they're not meant to be trained.
Yeah.
So
great tip there, great insight. And I think the second one we wanted to really make sure we discuss is, you guys have probably seen these videos going viral. The guy will have, I don't know, 8, 10, 20, plates in here, and he's banging them out. And then he gets to where he's gonna stop and pause. He's locks out here. So he's taken all the tension off of his legs. You guys know we talk a lot about tension is the accuracy of muscle growth. So we've taken all the load and tension off of our quads, and now we've stacked it into our joints. And from here, if things go south, there's only gonna be one outcome, right? That's gonna buckle in this way. My literally joints, my knees are gonna fall out of place. This weight is gonna come crushing down on me.
I mean, it's gonna stop at one point, but
Yeah,
at that
if you
point,
have
it's
those
crushing.
things
I
in
mean,
lock, yeah.
somebody has long legs like you, like
Yeah.
there's nowhere for your legs to go. If your knees buckle under, 400, 500
Yeah.
pounds that you're pressing,
Easily.
I
Yeah.
mean, what is gonna happen to that joint?
Yeah.
We've seen those Instagram fails. Don't be an Instagram fail. So the lesson to learn from here, guys, is you quite literally never, ever, 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 ever lock your knees out on a leg press. Whenever you are deloading it from the rack, you always have, so load it back. Here we go. Sorry, you short man. All right, so obviously it's probably better if I show, right? Because I have
Yeah.
shorter legs. So we'll go ahead and show you, because obviously Frank's legs are bent. My legs significantly shorter. Most leg presses have this right here, but say for some reason it didn't. Mind you, I could deload and lock my knees out easily, right? But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push up. I shift my hips up a little bit, rotate in, make sure my hips, my lower back is flat against right here, but notice the entire time as I'm adjusting, even if I had weight, if I can't do this with the weight that's on
Yes.
there, I shouldn't have the weight on there to begin
Exactly.
with. I shouldn't have to lock my legs out to lift that plate up. Always having that slight bend on the knees is it's gonna protect you from a really ugly,
Yeah.
ugly gym fail and injury.
Yep. I think that takes right into the third one.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'll go
let's go
ahead.
ahead and talk about that one as well, because it's right in line with trying to push too much weight. This is not an exercise you guys should be chasing PRs. Nobody cares what your 1 rep max is on the leg press. There's no value. There's no reason to do that. But we see a lot of people overload this too much. They'll even put their buddy up on top here, and it becomes a full body movement. Like there's more pressure, there's more force being driven from our upper body because their legs are too exhausted. Now I would say you can maybe place your arms here as just a stop.
I usually do is I come here.
Okay. I mean,
And that
I
way-
use the handles because I think that's what they're
Yeah.
there for, and that forces me to pull myself down, and it's going to
That's-
keep my glutes
that's a good-
on the pad here as well. Because I
Yeah.
believe in constant contact
Yeah.
at as many points as possible.
Yeah.
And then so you're fully stabilized there,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
all you have to think about is driving through the legs. So
Good perspective.
if you
This
guys
has
have
actually, you know what though? I will say this leg press has a good grip.
very good.
This has a really good grip.
Yeah.
I feel like not all leg presses are created equal. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
but you could create
Because of
a force counterforce by you
Yeah.
pulling yourself down. You're actually going to get a higher output through the legs. Yeah.
Feels different. Sometimes I'll go here to make sure that my back stays
Yeah.
flat too, but
Now getting a
never.
little more core involved
Yeah,
in that one
never.
as well. Yeah.
If you're pushing your knees in, guys, you're really not getting the benefit of the leg press.
Yeah.
And you should definitely deload. I talk a lot about not lifting outside of your range, so decreasing the load. In
Yeah.
my Form 101, I think that's probably one of the top things that I say as a correction is decrease the load.
Yeah.
Decrease the
Well,
load. If
here's-
you can't do it properly, decrease the load.
Well, here's a question for some people out there, because they may be thinking, well, I understand not pushing, but my knees are unstable, so I need to hold on to the knees to keep them stabilized. What could somebody do if that was the case?
I mean, at that point, one, I probably would stop the exercise.
Yeah.
I would do movements that would create strength around my knees. A lot of people wrap their knees, they have knee sleeves.
Well, I think we actually have something for them for free that'll maybe help with some of that knee stabilization stuff.
I see where you're
Right?
going
You
right
see where
here.
I'm
Our
going
mini
here?
bands.
Yes.
Yes, mini bands, guys. Check it out. Mini bands are in the comments. Yes, we have tons and tons of mini band content, and it's all free. I'm gonna give you mini bands for free. And the mini bands do definitely, there's so many different things you can do. You can anchor it, you can rotate that knee in
Yes.
and out. You can go and you can rotate out this way. There's so many different things you can do with the mini
Strengthen those
band.
supporting muscles, strengthen those tendons, those ligaments, get a lot of stabilization in those knees so you don't have to hold on to them to drive your knees forward.
I see what you did
so stop
there.
doing
Hey.
stop doing the sideways kick mode here, because it's just putting your body in a vulnerable position.
locking those knees
Stop
out.
locking things out. Stop holding on and pushing. And if you need to build some stabilization, or you just want to have some free resistance bands, that link down there,
Yeah.
make sure to check it out, guys. Put your information in. Hit that subscribe. Turn those notifications on. Thumbs up, comment down below. Coach Ashley, Coach Frank, we love you guys. We'll see you in the next one.
See ya.